A good Thursday, everybody. I'm meteorologist Ben Dery. Thanks for checking us out on the Kare 11 streaming app. Well, topic number one is certainly the wildfire smoke. It's tough to tough to miss when you walk outside. It's something that you can see, you can smell it, you can taste it when you walk outside, and it looks like today is going to be about as bad as it gets for air quality. So that's kind of the positive with this is heat and smoke. Those are the two things that are going to impact your day today. The worst of the smoke is today. We should see improving smoke conditions and improving air quality as we head into tomorrow. So the wildfire smoke is here. Hazardous air quality has been recorded around the Twin Cities metro, and it's not hyperbole to say that this is the worst air quality that we have ever measured. This is from information coming from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, which has been keeping track of those records for a while. The heat sort of takes a back seat for a headline today. This hazy overcast, this hazy smoke is actually going to limit our temperatures today. So many of us are going to stay in the upper 80s for highs today, but the heat index today is in the mid 90s. Tomorrow with a clearer, bluer sky, we should get back up near 100 degrees for Friday. So our weather impact alert continues through tomorrow evening. It's been extended through Friday evening, and really you just have to limit your time outdoors, at least for today, because it can be certainly hazardous to your health. And boy, if you were outside yesterday evening, you felt that smoke move in. This is the air quality for the Twin Cities over the last 24 hours. So most of yesterday, we were in the green to yellow category, which air quality was just fine. And then right after 6 o'clock in the evening, that wall of smoke came in, and just a couple of hours is all it took to turn us into that hazardous category. And yes, it's been bad since yesterday evening, and we don't expect a whole lot of changes today. There's not a whole lot of movement with the wind right now, so that just means that the smoke is going to linger. It's going to stay here. This is a time-lapse loop from earlier this morning, and the start of this loop, the sun was actually already up, but you couldn't see it because the smoke was so thick. I'll put this into motion. You can watch this. The sun just appears there, and that orange glow will be with us probably over the next couple of days until we get some cleaner air moving through the region. These are current air quality readings, and most of us are in that purple category, which is hazardous. That's on the scale from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency. It has to do with sort of how the air quality affects your health. So I believe the air quality, the hazardous category, their measurements go from like 300 to 500. I think we're solidly in the 350 category around the Twin Cities. Areas closer to where those fires are originating from, we're talking up by Ely. At one point, they measured over 1,000. So threefold, even fourfold more than the low limit of the hazardous category. One thing that's interesting and sort of the silver lining with the smoky skies for today, at least, is the wildfires are close by, right? So we have really bad air quality because the fires are only a couple hundred miles away. That being said, because these fires are so close, all it's going to take is a subtle shift in the wind direction, and all of a sudden we'll have better air quality. And you can see the southwestern part of the state, we have clear sky right now. Green and yellow readings from Marshall down towards the Sioux Falls area in South Dakota. Jackson reporting some good air quality. Even Mankato is kind of in that moderate territory. So we have this wall of smoke, which is just south of the Twin Cities. So from the cities northward and most of Wisconsin dealing with hazardous air quality, at least for today. If you are going to be spending an extended period of time outside, these are some of the symptoms that you can come to expect thanks to the smoke. Coughing, a persistent light headache. I was having that when I was outside this morning covering weather in the Kare backyard. A scratchy throat, itchy eyes. Morning sunrise anchor Jason Hackett had to wear his glasses today instead of contacts because the contacts were just too irritating. So that's the case, and also runny nose as well. So those are the symptoms, at least some of them. And in more severe cases, you could have some wheezing or shortness of breath as well. So that's just something to keep in mind. That's really just for today, however. This is the surface smoke forecast model, and you can see the higher concentrations of wildfire smoke are basically over us now. What's happening today is we don't have the smoke actively pouring into the area, but because the wind is forecast to be fairly light today, we're not going to see the dispersion of the smoke like we normally would. So we should see some subtle improvements by later today around the Twin Cities, but I still expect us to be in that very unhealthy category, probably through this afternoon and maybe even into tonight as well. One thing that will help is as the sun gets a little higher in the sky, it warms up the surface a little bit more, tends to mix things out just a little bit. So a little dispersion happening during the peak daytime heating hours, but still air quality is forecast to be pretty bad. Now, once we get into tomorrow morning, we'll be tracking a frontal boundary crossing over the eastern Dakotas. Out ahead of that front, you can see a southwesterly wind. And remember, southwest Minnesota, that's where we have the cleaner air, right? So once we head into tomorrow morning, that southwest wind should help to push that wildfire smoke back up into the Arrowhead, back over the Great Lakes region, where the air quality is still going to be bad. And you can see more of a westerly wind as we head into tomorrow afternoon and evening. We should see things improve rather quickly. So this is the air quality forecast for today. We're in that deep purple category. Again, that's the hazardous reading. And according to the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, they've never issued the hazardous air quality level for the Twin Cities. For the first time, they issued that yesterday. So that's how big of a deal this is. They've never had to issue it because we haven't had conditions like this before. Certainly, we've had big wildfires in Minnesota, but the perfect conditions set up where we had, first off, that the day after the 4th of July, we had a couple of thunderstorms move through, sparking those wildfires, lightning sparked wildfires in northern Minnesota for the most part, right? And then in the days after that, we had temperatures in the upper 90s to triple digits in places that rarely get up to 100 degrees. That combined with a strong southwesterly wind fanned the flames, and we saw these giant fires show up. Then as we head into the yesterday, or even the last couple of days, we had a frontal system slowly sag southward, and then all that smoke billowed in behind that front and then just sat on top of us. And then the wind just stopped. So all that smoke pushed into the area, was unable to disperse and mix out through the atmosphere. That's why the air quality is so bad today. Once we get into tomorrow, we have that cold front moving through from the west that should give us improving air quality throughout the day today, or tomorrow, I should say. So it still might be a little hazy early tomorrow. We still will probably be in that orange category through the first half of the day, and the orange is unhealthy for sensitive groups. So folks that have asthma, heart and lung disease, those areas still might be have the irritation going on. But for the vast majority of people, we should see improving air quality. And you can see we're still in that purple category for areas in north central and northeastern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin. Purple is still that very unhealthy air quality. And according to the latest forecast models, the smoke should continue to stay up in northeast Minnesota as we head into the weekend. So Saturday and Sunday should bring good conditions. So we should be in that green category, which is some good news. So with the smoke in place, at least for today, there are a couple of things that you can do to help kind of limit your smoke stress, if you will. First and foremost, you limit your time outside. That's basically a given. If you have a daily walk that you do, or if you are training for something like the Twin Cities Marathon later on this fall, or anything else, you do have any outdoor training today, just push that off one day. This is not going to be something that lasts very long, which is good news. This is mainly a today type of event with the hazardous air quality. So push it to tomorrow. That's not going to hurt you. Or you take it inside. See, most of commercial buildings, even your house, HVAC systems, they have filtration systems that help to limit that smoke that's pushed back into the system. So spending time in air conditioning, whether it's inside your home, inside of other buildings, or even inside your car. Our cars have the cab filter that helps to filter the air as well. You put that on the recirculation level and you'll see a better air quality that way. And if you are spending an extended stretch of time outside, well, you just wear one of those N95 masks. Those are the ones that fit tightly to your face, not just the little sheet masks that will still let smoke in. That doesn't really help to filter out the smoke really at all. But the N95 masks, those are specific to smoke, and they can absorb and filter out all the smoky conditions so that you will be able to breathe a little bit more easier. So those N95 masks will help you if you're going to be spending a lot of time outside today. Now, if you go outside and you look up, most of us are seeing what looks like hazy overcast. That's not hazy overcast, that's actually wildfire smoke. And what's interesting too is you head to southwest Minnesota, the sky is actually clear blue down there, so you don't have to go far to see fresher air. Actual clouds further north up along the international border where we still have that active storm track, but because the air is still very dry, we're still not seeing any significant widespread rain showers over this area that has been in the storm track the last couple of days. We're still under the influence of that big high pressure dome, which really hasn't moved much all week long. Once we get into the upcoming weekend and especially early next week, that ridge is forecast to move further west. That should allow us to see more of an active storm track. That should give us at least chances for more showers. But anything super widespread, anything that's going to like immediately put those fires out in northern Minnesota and into southwestern Ontario, that's unfortunately not going to happen. We do have more significant rain moving through Winnipeg right now, but this is going to be a proverbial drop in the bucket from what we actually need. Here's yesterday's precipitation totals, and remember, we did see some showers across northern Minnesota yesterday. Didn't really add up to much. I know we woke up early yesterday morning, Bemidji to some isolated thunderstorms. That was about it. 0.05 inches reported in Thief River Falls. And what was interesting too is as that smoke was moving through entering the Twin Cities area, it was riding along a frontal boundary that we were talking about yesterday. That slow moving front worked its way from central Minnesota down south that brought the smoke, and also that front combined with the urban heat island effect actually produced a very isolated but pretty heavy shower in downtown St. Paul yesterday, which was really interesting. Like most of us just had the smoky, hazy sky. Then you looked off toward the east and you see these towering cumulus clouds. So there was one isolated shower that occurred yesterday around the East Metro, and similar conditions could happen today. We have a somewhat similar setup with that weak frontal system still kind of draped over central and southern Minnesota. This is microcast that keeps most of the shower activity way up north. So there's that batch of rain moving into the Rainy River Valley before noontime today. Light on again, off again showers are possible along the international border. But that's about it for rain showers, at least for today. Notice as we head into the early evening hours, this model in particular is forecasting another pop-up type shower for the East Metro, which certainly could happen because we have similar conditions to what we had yesterday. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that today for East Metro locations into western Wisconsin. Spotty shower there. I think there might be a better chance over central and southern Wisconsin for those isolated showers, but really that's going to be about it for rain chances. We mentioned that frontal system, that cold front's going to move through during the day on Friday. Most of us will stay dry, but areas in north central and northeastern Minnesota should see another chance of seeing those isolated showers. So here's hoping that we continue to see rain chances up across northern Minnesota, cooler temperatures, and higher relative humidity as those wildfire fighting crews hope to contain those fires soon. So this is a shot from our Golden Valley sky camera. Normally you would see the Minneapolis skyline in the background. Not the case today. The air quality is just too bad for that. These are all, you walk outside, you smell it. You smell the wildfire smoke. And it's just kind of interesting to think about as these fires are coming from, you know, the burning of the trees and brush and things like that up in northern Minnesota. And that's reaching its way down here. And usually when we have bad air quality, it's from wildfires that are thousands of miles away, like say over the Canadian Rockies. I remember a couple of years ago, what was it, 2023, Canada had their worst wildfire year ever, right? And for here in the upper Midwest, we had to deal with that because the smoke kept billowing into our area, right? So we had, I think it was half of summer that was obscured by wildfire smoke. We had poor air quality from time to time. Visibility was lower, kind of like what it is today. And we just had that persistent haze in the sky. This is different because these wildfires are somewhat local. They're not 1,000 miles away, they're a couple hundred miles away. So as quickly as the smoke came in yesterday, I think we'll see improving conditions fairly quickly. Maybe not as fast as the smoke came in, but I think as we head into tomorrow, especially midday into the afternoon, we are going to see rapidly improving conditions. So we just have to take steps to kind of take it easy today, spend more time indoors, limit your exposure to this hazardous air quality because it can certainly be hazardous to your health. Still hot today. We mentioned that the heat is that secondary headline. Temperatures today probably stay staying in the upper 80s to near 90. The haze is kind of acting like a veil of overcast that's preventing some of that sun radiation from reaching down. So that thick haze will be with us. And we have that light southeasterly breeze. So again, the atmosphere is unable to mix out. It's unable to give us cleaner air, which unfortunately is not going to happen until we get into tomorrow. These are high temperatures for today. You can see the denser cloud cover across far northern Minnesota and the threat for a few showers, keeping us in the 70s there. Upper 80s to near 90 for basically the rest of us. The worst air quality that the Twin Cities has ever recorded, that's today. We will see improving conditions as we head into tomorrow. And here's your 7-day forecast. We still have that weather impact alert for the smoke and the heat today, but mainly just for the heat as we head into tomorrow, as the heat index plays tag with about 100 degrees. Still pretty stuffy heading into the weekend, but we should see good air quality. There's that next chance for showers Sunday night into Monday, and the heat finally breaks by next Tuesday.